What's up, Star Wars fans? It's the Emerald Enthusiast back with another action figure review. This time I'll be looking at the Hot Toys 1/6 scale figure of Bo-Katan Kryze. Let's have a quick look at the box. This is figure number TMS035, and as you can see, there are product shots around the box. On the side, it says Bo-Katan Kryze. On the back of the box, we see a list of everyone who was involved in the creation of this figure. On the top of the package, it says Star Wars, and likewise on the bottom, it says Star Wars. On the front of the box, we get this really stunning product shot, and of course, this is Katee Sackhoff as Bo-Katan Kryze. And now let's bust open this box and see what's inside. Here is this cardboard insert with an action shot of the figure in the helmet. The figure comes with this set of directions, and I highly recommend that you read these. The figure includes a plethora of small accessories and areas that could be considered fragile if handled incorrectly. So before you take the figure out of the box and start posing it around and changing out the various parts, read these instructions thoroughly to avoid any unnecessary damage to your Hot Toys figure. Including the hands that are on the figure, this figure comes with a pair of fists, a pair of relaxed hands, a pair of pistol holding hands, aka gripping hands, and a right hand for gripping the comm link accessory. These are all skillfully sculpted, and I really appreciate how precise the paint application on the back of the hands is, and these are pliable enough to easily fit the other accessories into these hands. We also get these booster firing accessories, and of course these plug into the backpack. And this translucent orange plastic does a perfect job at representing fire. Of course, the figure comes with this comm link accessory, as well as this dagger blade that is attachable to the gauntlet. This figure does have several pointy edges, so again, be careful when handling this figure. And we get two blasters. And of course, these fit into the gripping hands. And we also get this wired grappling hook that is attachable to the gauntlets. There is a magnificent amount of detail on all of these, as you would expect from Hot Toys. These are very screen accurate. And here we see Katee Sackhoff as Bo-Katan Kryze, free of the box and ready to rumble. In terms of details, this figure is outstanding. I have very little to criticize in that area. However, the articulation of this figure is quite limited. So let's have a closer look at the loose details now. Let's have a look at the lower body now, and I really appreciate the paint choices on the shin guards. As you can see, these are movable pieces. Although this armor is one of the major reasons why this figure's articulation is limited, and I will get more into that later. And underneath these armor pieces, we get this fabric clothing, and this feels like a durable material. The figure has these realistic holsters on each hip, and it is possible to slide the blasters into the holsters. This also feels like a durable material. As you can see, I'm putting some pressure on the holster to get the blaster in, but this doesn't feel like something that's going to flake or break easily over time. Here's a close-up of the torso, and I'm really impressed by this chest armor. It actually looks like metal, and the sculpting is excellent on this. Everything is just so realistic looking on this figure, including these little pouches. Now, this chest armor does lift off of the figure, and it's held in place by 2 pieces of Velcro. And here's a look at the underside of that chest armor piece. I wouldn't lift that off of the figure too often. It feels like you might eventually wear down the Velcro. And likewise, we have this jetpack on the figure's back. This is also a separate piece. And the blue color choice on this figure really pops. And I'm working this piece off. And again, there's just an amazing level of screen accuracy here. Mandalorian characters have complicated designs, and I've been very impressed by Hot Toys' ability to translate those into figure form. Now let's have a look at the arms, and the figure comes with these blue forearm gauntlets. Once again, we get some soft goods material under those, and we get shoulder armor pieces on both sides. Very intricate paint applications. And as you can see, you can shift the gauntlets around, and of course you can move the hands at the wrist for better posing options. Now let's have a look at the head sculpt, and the work here is just astounding. You can see just how intricate the paint details are. This is very impressive work by Hot Toys. You can see the light dancing off of the top of this battle-damaged helmet. And the helmet comes with this articulated range finder, and you can move that down for an action look, and that is impressive as well. The piece does not feel fragile, but it is small, so once again, handle with care. The figure has this dumbbell joint in the neck, and here's a look underneath the helmet. And here we get the alternate Katee Sackhoff head sculpt, and I am just blown away by how much this resembles Bo-Katan. The detail here is outstanding. The eyes are intense, the skin tone is realistic, and the jaw and lips are sculpted in an accurate manner. If I have a criticism about this head sculpt, it's that the hair looks just a little plastic. However, the hairstyle is accurate. Now let's have a look at articulation, and again, be careful with the armor pieces when manipulating the figure. The feet move well, they pivot side to side, and they move backward and forward at the ankle joint. But then we come to the knee, and as you can see, it only articulates to this degree. And it's also difficult to get the figure into a deep running pose. And the legs don't want to articulate out from the body very far at all. And I can feel resistance from the material here, so certainly don't try to force this. The figure can only kick forward that far, and there's not a lot of step back motion either. There's only a minimal amount of waist rotation. This feels very tight. There's a little more upper torso swiveling than I thought would be present, so I am definitely thankful for that. And now let's get a look at the arms. The elbows articulate to this degree, so that's a little disappointing, although they do swivel from side to side. The figure has the standard wrist peg movement, so I'm thankful for that as well. And if you're wondering if you can get the forearm gauntlets off, the answer is yes. And let me slide that back on here. The attire limits the forward and backward movement of the arm. However, it is possible to get the arm to lift all the way out from the body. As you might expect, this is difficult to achieve with the shoulder armor piece on the figure. However, once the arm is in position, it is possible to set the shoulder armor piece on it. However, it's not a great fit, and I would say that this is another design flaw. The shoulders on my figure are very tight, and I was very nervous about moving them. However, I was able to do so without damaging the figure. As far as the head sculpt goes, I have no complaints about the neck joint. The figure's head moves easily side to side, there's up and down movement, and there is head tilting. It's quite simple to put these booster fire effects into the jetpack. You can simply wiggle these in, and again, these look magnificent. I really appreciate how the dark orange tapers into a yellow for a more realistic look. As I mentioned earlier in the video, this figure does have a hand for holding the comm link, and it does fit securely into the figure's hand. The right gauntlet has this small plastic piece that pops out, and this will allow you to put the dagger blade into the gauntlet. And here's the dagger piece in place. And here's a look at the dagger on the figure. Obviously, these are very small plastic parts, so take your time when changing these out. Here is the figure with the grappling hook accessory attached, and this is certainly eye-catching. However, the trade-off is that it takes up a lot of space. For collectors who do stop motion or dynamic posing, this accessory might be very appealing. Here is the stand base, and of course it says Bo-Katan Kryze. And we get this other piece that is part of the Imperial Star Cruiser diorama. Here are those two pieces assembled. It's also possible to change out the nameplate if you want to use your display like this. And there is a third piece, and it's this backdrop. I have seen some collectors online say that they feel that the backdrop is grainy and cheap looking. I don't have the space to use dioramas, so this is not a major issue for me personally. However, I do applaud Hot Toys for always giving collectors numerous display options. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this review, and please tell all of your friends about this channel. I would certainly appreciate it. And I'll be back with more Star Wars content soon. But until we meet again, this has been the Emerald Enthusiast, and thanks for watching.